Yep.
That's your problem.
Tonight we are all Mexicans.
Except me.
Más o menos.
Woo! Tonight we are all Mexicans.
I'm chocolate.
This goddamn chocolate, whatever he's saying, he's a Mexican tonight. They do have that.
This is the Sabine show.
They do have that for tonight. We say tonight. We didn't say that. Tonight we are all Mexicans. Okay, that's how we say it. These are crazy people behind us. Look, that guy behind us.
That's some bullshit, man. This guy behind you is putting on the TV.
No.
Hold on. I'm putting on some Ethiopian
traditional.
Traditional, yeah. We want traditional.
Yeah. Go ahead to your.
Okay.
You go to traditional TRA.
Yeah. Hold on. I got this. The thing is, what is traditional? I mean, is it staged authenticity?
Ethiopia.
Is it really traditional? Is it traditional in one region?
It doesn't matter. What you have to try is you have to offer first solo tray. Okay, you're not doing the right one.
No, but I'm like trying. I'm gonna close. No, hey! Don't get up, Your Highness.
Just
don't get up, Your Highness.
hold on.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Here we go. There we go.
Oh.
There we go. Okay, put this in the bag.
No. This is not a good one.
That's fine.
This is background.
This is Ethiopian.
This is ancillary to the podcast. This is ancillary.
That is Ethiopian.
Yeah, you go in the middle this time. Right?
That's
an amazing afro right there. Hey,
give it a sound.
Want the sound?
متى نجيب درامون؟
No.
متى درامون؟
قاشا برا ولا قاري هنا.
متى درامون؟ الناس قايلة متى درامون؟ You don't listen what you see this way.
No, you just ruined it.
That's what it is. No.
Let's hear it. Let's hear the drum.
No, you cannot do this.
You don't have to go. No. Just stop. You don't. Right now, you want something. Just do what we ask you to do. Just use the drum. Just use the drum.
I cannot use this.
Just drum.
This is very fast. Come on.
It doesn't matter.
Cope up with this.
That's what it is.
I cannot do it.
Getting schooled, man.
That's what he's doing.
Yes.
I'm tired of you guys. I shall
All right. It's time for the podcast.
All right.
This is. Well, this is what it's on, right? It's on.
It's on. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Let me see.
Let's redo the whole thing. Let's redo the whole thing. Okay.
It should blink here.
No, blinking is when it's off.
All right.
Right here. Is that right? Or no.
I don't know.
No. It's good. We go.
All right. Hey, you're gonna fall down. Be careful. Don't slip on it.
No, I was not supposed to.
Respect the drums, man. Respect the drums.
I was not supposed to do this with water and oxygen.
You don't lean on the drums.
Well,
man. Come on, man.
You'll be sucked up. He's trying to be an oxygen. He will suck you out.
It's okay though. We're all positive. Okay, so this is Vodcast Season 1, Episode 2. We've upgraded the visuals, so now we've got more of the complete background. It's actually impossible to get the full story of this place in one camera because it's more 360 and it's actually fourth dimensional. You got to walk through in this, and also time, But who we have here? Who is our special guest tonight?
We have Manasseh.
Gashe Manasseh, the
all
one
right.
and only.
He feels that he's an old guy. That's what means Gashe.
What of a wise guy.
Old soul.
Wise guy.
Old soul.
Even
Exactly.
though he never married, he always never divorced. He's simply
That's old soul.
lifetime single.
She's waiting for me. Come on.
She's
Yeah,
waiting.
I'm
in
not gonna
heaven.
disappoint her.
Yeah,
waiting.
that's what George Washington was looking for. Finally, he ended up with with Sugar Mama.
Where is she? I'm looking for her. Come on.
We'll get to that in a second.
Where is she?
All
right. I don't know how this actually translated into that. We should have some. I'll go fix that in a second. But in the meantime, so this is the Vlogcast Season 1, Episode 2. It is a combination of pre-rehearsed topics along with improvisation. So what we've been just talking, everything right now is improvisation, but we've actually got a topic for this evening, right?
Yes, sir.
A topic. What is our topic this evening?
What's good?
I think we're going to talk about George Mason.
Really?
It's time.
Oh
It's
my
time.
God.
It's time to go there.
I already
George
know.
Mason.
My God.
George Mason. Don't worry.
All
We
right.
will involve you in a second. So just make sure you're on the drums, ready to go when it happens. But
Yeah.
And I mean, so why don't you tell us a little bit, because this is one of the lesser known founding fathers who should actually get. He's probably the most underrated. Is he the most underrated founding father there is?
He's the most underrated because he was against the entire founding fathers for their racist ideas to keep the slaves together.
Exactly. Why he's most underrated, most important now, and why that guy is also, if you look in your Lincoln Monument, this guy
The only one who has a monument there.
And not only is it a monument, his monument is just him chilling like this.
Yeah,
It's
pretty
like,
much.
I'll come back in 200 years, then we can talk. That's what kind of visionary George Mason was. Yeah,
Exactly.
All right. So here we go. Okay, so rap like Saddam, I'm gonna fix the music in the back.
Yes, sir. So this gentleman, pretty much, he was very much interested to free the slaves. He tried hard. He was compromised himself because he had a lot of slaves, 1,100 slaves.
Wow.
But
1,100.
1,100. At one point, he said, "All my children were raised by slaves." He was a widower, and he had 11 children. All of them were raised and eat the mother of the slave breast. They were feeding his children, even though they have children. So at the end of the war, he said, "What's our Declaration of Independence? Is it a declaration to get a land, or is it a declaration to get freedom? So to get a land, we have the land, but we have to have more freedom, because our Declaration of Independence says all men are created equal." Equal to what?
And they're
Equal to everyone. Go ahead.
Life, liberty,
And the
and the
pursuit of
happiness.
Yeah, that was the main objectives. The words that was taken from the American Indians earlier.
It was actually the Iroquois Confederation, which was a confederation of a few tribes in the Northeast that had that as their doctrine. And that was adapted from the Iroquois Confederation
To the Constitution.
Exactly.
Yeah. But is America fulfilled its promise? All things went back to 1787 as the Constitutional Convention. George Mason said, "We need to free the slaves." George Washington said, "No, they are our properties." Was George Washington right? In some ways, yes, he is. We don't want to deny him that he has the right to fight for his property, because he didn't get them for free, he paid money. But on the other hand, the human being that was smuggled, that was brought to this country, that built this country wealth, they never get the freedom. Even though they fight and die for this country, they didn't get a freedom. So George Mason said, "No, we fought for freedom for everyone." He insisted to have the Bill of Rights. Without that, he said, "I won't sign the Declaration of the Constitution without the Bill of Rights."
So this guy was like the original Freedom Caucus.
He is the Freedom Caucus.
He is the original
is the
Freedom
real
Caucus.
caucus.
The real caucus.
Yeah.
Exactly.
However, go ahead.
All right. So my question there is that where the 3/5 compromise comes from?
Yes, what happened was George Mason boycotted the Constitutional Convention because the slaves were not freed. And James Madison became the chairman of the Constitutional Convention, and he said, "We are now on the greatest compromise." What was the great compromise, the slaves considered to be a 3/5 of a human being. Can you imagine in history, a human being was a subject by constitution to be a subhuman? This is the only constitution that kept this ridiculous, perverted way of expressing about human being.
I mean, in
3/5.
in more politically correct terms, we're going to call it cognitive dissonance, because how are you going to say all men are created equal? Forget about women. Let's not even talk about gender because that's part of it. But all men are created equal, except when they're not.
Yeah.
Right? 4 legs good, 2 legs better. Right? So it's
Oh, that's George Orwell.
No, sorry. Just not getting a little motivated. But that's the thing, though. Is it? So how? But how do you reconcile people's minds? Because some people say slaves are slaves. That's how we roll. That's our kind of model. Other people say, like George Mason, no, that's wrong. And so you have to compromise. And so in retrospect, it seems absolutely ridiculous. How do you vote on 3/5 of a human being?
Yeah.
I mean, if you look
fault?
That's
Yeah,
60% of the human being.
like 60% of human be like, yeah, you're 60% human, you're 80, you're 1. I mean, it's
Yeah.
wrong. Except if you look at the way people look at in financial terms and look at property now, it's actually that's a compromise. And you had to
Yeah.
get there. It's like, look, it was a 3/5 way into actual civil rights, and so I mean, it was wrong, but it's better than 0/5, right? Because here's the thing.
Look.
Yeah.
Here is the thing. You see, if George Washington said that, I don't blame him.
Yeah.
If James Madison said, I don't blame him. But if professors from Harvard or Georgetown, if they approved that this human being is better than this human being, this human being is better evolved than this human being, I have a problem.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
I mean, that's the problem, right?
Yeah,
you
that's
can't,
the problem.
You can't say this because I mean, there's so much context. There's so much.
These are the professors who studied anthropology, biology, who defined human beings unequal by taking some anthropological morphology. If a morphology of mine is inferior than yours, for whom it is inferior? For you, or for my wife, or for my girlfriend, or for my king? That's just crazy.
I mean, and people will take what they want to believe.
Excuse me.
Go ahead, please.
What was the 40% that they think we lack, like a black person lacks?
Black man. Because women are out. Women are 0/5, right?
Wow.
Yeah.
Women weren't included in the 3/5 calculation, right?
No.
No, it was 3/5 of a man.
Yeah.
Really? So, like,
Yeah.
what was the 40% that they think a black person lacks? A black man.
One, morphology.
Okay.
Because the anthropologists, the scientists, they say that they take the morphology of your face and they feel that the perfect human being must have this kind of nose, this kind of hair, this kind of. And the perfect human being lived in a cave as a Neanderthal and created art. The perfect human being designed the world.
So they hadn't discovered all the art in Namibia and South Africa.
They
right?
they didn't do that.
Which is older than Neanderthals.
So
Hadn't
the
discovered yet.
Neanderthals are the greatest human beings, the rest are not. That's the fault of the scientists.
Neanderthals are 100%. I
Yeah,
guess,
but on the other hand, how about the religious leaders, the pastors, the rabbis, who didn't say that this is wrong? They read the Bible and they approved that at the same time. They were complacent with the injustice.
Yeah.
So we don't fight the politicians who said that, but the psychology makeup of the scholars, the scientists, the university professors are the one who drive this country to crazy for racial discriminations.
But let's just go back a second because I don't want to say this is because this is what normally happens. We focus this argument on the 3/5, the 40%, the this, the black, the racial. But let's go back to where did they get the even idea and the cognitive of all men are created equal and are guaranteed life, liberty, pursuit, happiness. Iroquois. So the Native Americans who actually, a lot of the tribes, some tribes actually they were on the British side, right? During the Civil War, somewhere. Sorry, not Civil War.
Even during the Revolutionary War, the British asked them to fight on their side. Once they won the war, they'll get freedom. And there were black individuals who fought on the side of the British. But most of the African Americans, they fought on the side of the revolution. They fought in Bunker Hill, they fought in Saratoga, They fought in every battlefield. The first American who died with the American flag was Christmas Addict in Bunker Hill.
Wait, is this Christmas Addict or
Addict.
Christmas Addict?
Christmas Addicts, yeah.
Chris, is this? Dude, that's some like Farrakhan shit right there. It's not Christmas Addict. It's Crispus Addict.
Yeah, well, thank you for your accent.
Thank you.
Can you imagine?
That's the title of the
Can you
blog right
imagine
there.
when a
Thank you for your
Mexican is
accent.
correcting an Ethiopian accent? I can't believe it.
There's a difference. There is a vast difference between correcting accent and correcting
Because,
something
like,
that is wrong.
For me, like, I don't know the history of the US and also the police. I don't understand it. So I don't have anything to,
No, we like to you to participate.
So the thing is,
So in a human way, because
The human perception. You see,
People
human are tribals.
Yes.
You see, we are tribals. We, from the years billion all the way, everyone is fighting for a small land, for his children, for his for his farm,
for his fire.
whatever.
Everybody loves their fire. No, hold on. Let me
Even
everybody loves their fire.
Yeah.
I want my fire.
Yeah.
We hang out with
Yeah.
the fire together.
even today, people are fighting for their football or basketball team. That's a human nature
They follow
to
their
be
fire.
tribal.
They follow the fire.
America is today divided between two tribes, the Democratic and the Republican tribes. These two tribes are fighting and screwing up this country. They don't do their jobs, but what do?
They mess up.
They messed up. Impeachment started from Thomas Jefferson and all the way now. The mess is still on the way.
It's still on the way. So anyway,
Go ahead.
so that was enough random tangents. But let's go back to George Mason because this is actually very
So
important.
George
This is the topic.
Mason.
So George Mason. This guy actually had the force that he was probably again most underrated, biggest force of a founding father.
Yeah.
Oh, he's got a statue there, which
The man
everyone should
who-
check out. Yeah.
The man who authored the Constitution.
Authored the Constitution.
Yeah.
Let's not
Authored
forget
the
that.
Constitution.
So, what were his key inputs into the Constitution besides
The Bill of Rights.
The Bill of
The Bill of
What?
Rights.
Really?
Yes, the Bill of Rights. He said, "I'll never sign the Constitution without the Bill of Rights."
That's when you're supposed to, Bill of Rights.
Then the second one is free the slaves. The Bill of Rights was accepted, but the freedom of the slaves was compromised. It's very unfortunate. Was it good for America not freeing the slaves? Of course not. After 80 years, in 1861, a civil war started. What's a civil war? It costed 1.4 million Americans' life. After that, the slaves were emancipated.
1.4 million lives.
Yeah.
How many of them were black?
Among them, 733,000 of them were the soldiers.
Yeah.
Among them, 234,000 of them were the African Americans.
Wow.
The blacks fought on both sides.
Right.
We don't know, and we don't know how many of them civilians were counted to that death. But we know exactly. If you go to the Civil War Memorial of the African Americans here, this is a polarized country. There is a memorial for whites, Civil War, and a memorial for black, as if they didn't die together. It's so crazy.
And let's not forget, there's no memorial for American natives.
No.
For Native Americans, no memorial. The land. So by the way, so going back to
Tonight
this,
I'm a Native American.
come on, man, unless you're gonna shed a tear for all the trash in the river. Let's not go there. So here's the question.
I'm from the land of the Nile. I've been tearing forever.
Exactly, you've been shedding that tear, Ethiopia. So here's the question, though: is this when the Buffalo Soldier term came about?
Yes.
What was the Buffalo Soldier? Because I heard about that when I was a little high when I smoked and I heard that music in the background.
Go ahead.
Wasn't there something there? It seemed like there was something much deeper to the Buffalo Soldier. What is that?
The Buffalo Soldiers are the one who really fought for the reunification of this country and America to be America.
The Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah, they were promised once the war over, you'll have everything, all the agreements. They signed and signed and signed. Then America starts to be stronger, powerful, and they are forgotten. And no
they're forgotten.
memorial of the buffalo.
Just a clarification, I was high in life. That was just, especially with those people in Singapore. But the buffalo soldier, so that's what the Native American actually called the black soldier, because the hair on the black man actually looked like the shoulder of a buffalo. And so they called them the buffalo soldier because, so imagine you're a native, right? You've been living in this land for centuries, millennia, your entire history as you believe it. And then all of a sudden, white man comes, fuck, disease and shit, all this kind of, and on top of the white man's got like a fucking buffalo fighting, like, God damn. We're done. That's it. We got a fucking buffalo soldier now? Shit! And so that's where that shit came from, right?
The most interesting thing is a lot of, the blacks or the slaves never had the right to have a wife.
Really?
Yeah. It was.
Did they have to be like traded, like bought and sold?
No. The slaves has no right. They are slaves. No, hold on. They didn't have the right to marry.
Really?
But in the property of George Washington or George Mason or Garfield or all of them,
You can bring Garfield in.
they'll send to rape the women, and the women get pregnanted, and they get another new generation of slaves.
So
they're renting them. So they are there to produce, like your cat, no, not cat, like your cow, like your donkey, like your.
Hold on. Let's. So one, just because it's grammatically incorrect doesn't mean it's historically incorrect. Two, what's the example, man? What happened with Jefferson? Jefferson, because he was he involved? Because I heard a lot about Jefferson.
Let's first see, in Washington context.
Yeah.
If you go to Mount Vernon, there are slaves. How do you call quarters?
Yeah.
In the slave quarters, there is a female and a male. The male, they may not see them the whole day, or they could be from the field slaves.
Right.
They'll come and rape them, and the ladies will be pregnanted. Then they will have a new generation of slave. They will raise them and make them a slave, and they sell them. They produce them. That's how they produce new generation of slaves. So they are breeding slaves. That's number one. Number two, George Washington, he did one great bill he signed in his life.
Oh,
you know what?
Which one?
The runaway slaves.
Runaway slaves.
Runaway slaves. If a slave is run away, he has to be captured, punished, and sold in the Caribbean. 8 of his slaves has been sold in the Caribbean.
8 of George Washington's slaves were sold in the Caribbean.
Because they run away. Yes, they run away.
But I mean, so hold on a second. But why is that bad? Just I'm ignorant. But for me, if I'm a slave in Virginia, and I'm like, fuck this, I'm gonna run away, and then I'm gonna get sent to the Caribbean. That sounds like that doesn't sound like a punishment to me. Like I'm gonna go. To the Caribbean.
There are still slavery in the Caribbean. The
no,
French.
I don't doubt. I don't disagree with it. But I'm saying is it so? Oh, you'd be a slave in the Caribbean.
You'll be sold as a slave to the Caribbean.
Yeah. I got you.
You'll be sold.
Still, I mean, if I'm
the famous. This is.
So when you hear like the Caribbean,
I'm talking about legislation now. You see,
no winter.
You see, George Washington, as the first president of the United States, he signed only 2 bills in his lifetime of the presidency in 8 years.
General Washington.
And President Washington.
Oh, he was a general though.
Right? Now he's a president.
Okay, now he's president.
Yeah. So he was very much, his slaves thought that they will be freed after the independence. That's how they vigorously fought the war. Then the country independent. Then they formed 3 branches of government. Then there was a constitutional convention in 1787. Every slave was thinking that he will be free.
Right.
Because they fought, they died in the war. But they converted that to 3/5 of a human being. And so, George Washington's slaves, they ran away.
Right.
he lost 30% of his slaves. They ran away. A lot of American slaves who fought the independence war, they ran away to Canada. The British government, they exploited that, and they declared the emancipation of slaves.
Wait, the British emancipated slavery?
Yeah.
Early
In Canada.
Squad!
Yeah,
Really?
1812.
But that was a war, right?
No, 1812. At the end of the war, this is tricky.
Yeah.
They want the slaves to overthrow the government. If they run away and help the British will topple the American government. That was a design with James Madison's government. So they just compromised. So the slaves, the emancipation of slaves in England, the announcement, activated the American slaves to fight. That's how Frederick Douglass, he get money from England, he paid his freedom, and he became a free slave in America, in Baltimore.
Free man.
Yeah, free man, a free slave.
Was he a Mason?
Whatever.
Anyway, we'll get next.
I
That's the
think
next
so.
podcast.
I think so, but it is the black slave. We have here the black masonry.
Really?
Oh,
I never knew that.
Yes,
Seriously?
we have the black
Dude,
masonry.
I've been here for like 7 years.
The black masonry.
Hanging out with you in this neighborhood. You never told me about this. You took me to the white Freemason's house. Why didn't you take me to the black Freemason's house, man?
The
What
black
kind of shit is that?
Freemason house, the famous, the five.
It's right here. It's
group.
closer by.
It's just
we could go like before lunch one day.
Yeah, no,
U
tomorrow. Yeah, we'll go tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Before
flying out tomorrow.
If I don't get quarantined,
You'll be quarantined in the Mason's lodge.
Not a bad.
Anyway,
you got Ben's Chili Bowl right there on delivery.
Yeah. Anyway, to make the story short, you see, America is a great country. It has a lot of potential. It's unique. This is a country that survived in 243 years of history to be the greatest country in the world. Everyone loves America from all over the world. Really, I'm proud to be an American citizen. But if we want to make a better America, we have to talk openly what was wrong in history, not in hard feeling, but in a very intelligent way. This is a country that can unite and brought many millions of people in this country. We have all human beings in America, from Polynesia to Hanti-Manti, North Pole, to the Argentinians down. So America is a nation of all nations. We want to make America great again. Let's work on it for better America. You have to score it up, yeah?
I think that's a good
That's
message.
yours.
So hold on. So I mean, despite all the maracas and the hats and the drums and everything and the whiskey and the single malt, single farm kill.
Oh, we love that. We love that. We love that.
From we go this side.
We love that. We love
Fantastic
that.
whiskey. So besides all that, we
Yeah,
can't.
I'm not in
I mean,
this.
we can poke holes in anybody's story. We can poke holes in any country, any person, whatever. And it's easy to come back and say, yeah, you did some fucked up shit like 300 years ago. It's easy to say that, right? Every country was doing fucked up shit 300 years ago.
Once upon a time. Yeah.
We still do.
We still do.
That's what we do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't
how
think
we
there
did.
is any country in the
Go
world that's
ahead.
not really messing up right now. I
Right.
cannot even imagine because even like people say that the Scandinavians are more of like they kind of get there almost not quite. They've got a lot of things
looking good
like
right now, but
if you go to like
I would
Somali
rather-
shores, you see the
I would rather go to
Norwegians.
Somaliland.
That's the thing. Like the Somalis have no trouble.
you got
with
better-
the Norwegians.
They're good.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so this is the podcast episode
Number 2.
season 1. You might have seen that drunk history show where they get a random person to drink a lot of alcohol.
A vodka.
Discuss
A
an
vodka.
historical event. But what if you get an actual historian to drink a little bit of alcohol and talk about things he believes in with purpose and with people? So thank you very much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time for the next podcast.
Cheers! Woo, woo, woo. Hey,
I'm amazing.
down! Thank you!
Yes.
Go. Closer.
Yeah. Hey, stop micromanaging my stuff.
Nice.